first question dealers ask, how much is it going to cost me to change systems in 2025? The cost of the system that you will see is not necessarily going to be the price that it costs, because most dealer management systems will stay in a dealership in 8 years. If you're only looking at the first year, you don't really know what you're into. Welcome to Dealer Tech Talk, the podcast where we explore the technology shaping modern dealerships. I'm your host, Simon Verona. We're going to talk about why that's such a hard question to answer. So I'm also going to talk about is that once you do know the cost, is that really representative of your lifetime cost of owning a dealer management system? By the end of this episode, you'll know what drives the price of a DMS system up, what can reduce the price, and what you can be careful of in your lifetime pricing analysis so that you can make sure that you're paying the right amount for the right system. So let's talk about the cost. A dealer management system can cost anything, £150, £200 a month, right the way up to over £2,000, £3,000, £4,000 a month. But why should there be such a difference? What makes a difference? Now, clearly, one of the key things is looking at what your dealership needs. If you are a single site, independent dealership, the requirements that you need from your dealer management system will be far lower than perhaps a 10-site, multi-franchised group of dealerships. You're both using DMSs, and realistically, at an individual user level, they're doing very, very similar things. But overall, the business requirements are different, and you may be using different DMS systems because of that. We'll cover that in a later episode, but let's focus more on pricing today. So any DMS system is going to have a base price. That'll be based on the complexity of the system, how good it is or compared to other systems in the marketplace, and its applicability to your dealership. But even within a single dealership, you'll find that there's a range of pricing. The first thing that will make a big difference is how many users of the system you actually have. Most DMS systems are priced per user. So in broad terms, a 5-user system will be probably double the cost of a 2-user system and half the cost of a 10-user system. If the system runs multi-site, many DMS systems will have premiums for the second site. But also looking at the features that you want to use in your dealer management system. If you're just running a sales operation, then the features you need are a lot less than somebody who's running a full after-sales system with a full parts department. Perhaps you've got a marketing system that you want to use. Each feature will add to that price. That will get you somewhere in to that price. That is the difference between paying £200, which may be just a 1 or 2 user system, maybe with showroom only, to £2,000, which may be a 10-user system, which has the full suite, showroom, CRM, accounting, marketing, after sales. That will make the big difference. And there's no point in paying for something you don't need. But talking about cost, it's very important to not look at cost alone without looking at the value that gives you as a dealership. You need to, when you're looking at systems, make a mental list of the things that you're looking for and make sure that you're paying for those and looking for the value that's going to be to your business. How is it going to improve your business? So you can actually then make a qualified decision as to whether investing that money is worth it. And I use the word investment wisely. We shouldn't be thinking of computer software as being a cost to the business, but very much looking at it as an investment in your business to make your business better, to help your business to grow, to make your business more profitable, to give your business more efficiency, and most importantly, to help you to deliver better customer service. The cost of the system that you will see on a supplier quotation is not necessarily going to be the price that it costs for the long term. There's lots and lots of gotchas that you need to be very, very aware of. So the first thing is that many suppliers will deal with a relatively short-term contract with you, maybe 12 months. That sounds like a really good idea for a dealership. You can sign up for 12 months and you're not buying into a long-term relationship. So if in 12 months' time your business changes, you can perhaps change the system accordingly. But there's a flip of that coin. At 12-month point, the supplier can come back to you with a new contract with different pricing. And you've then got a choice. Normally, quite a short-term choice. Maybe you've only got 30 days before the end of the contract, where you will see the pricing for renewing that contract for another year. If you don't like that pricing, you have hardly any time to make a decision. So you need to make sure that you've got that covered right at the front end, because most dealer management systems will stay in a dealership for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, typically. If you're only looking at the first year, you don't really know what you're into for years 2 to 7. Similarly, there are potentially lots of add-ons that you're not offered on day one, but actually you need and start to cost you money as you move forwards. So there are transactional-based costs in there. So let's say, for example, your DMS system can send text messages out to customers. Many can. How much is a text message? If you're paying 10p for a text message, that'll ramp up very quickly, especially when other providers might only be charging you 4p for the same text message, especially when other vendors may only be charging you 4p for the same text message. And you don't really have that choice. Once you've made your decision on your DMS system, you're pretty much bought into those additional costs where you need to do them. So it's very worthwhile reviewing those. What will they cost? What sort of volume are you going to put down? Therefore, so you can then look at the whole solution as you go forwards. The other thing that's really infuriating is the other side of the coin. You ask your vendor, how much is it going to cost? The idea behind that is that before you start looking any further, if it's in your price range. And that's really infuriating. It bugs me as a buyer when I'm buying products, when you say to somebody, how much is it going to cost? And they go, well, it really depends. We need to kind of do something. We need to look at what you've got or do something. And I know for me, that's not good enough. As far as I'm concerned, a supplier should be able to give you a rough price, a range of pricing. Is it going to be £200 to £400 or £400 to £600 or £1,000 or more? You need to know roughly where you are so you know where that is. So it's really a message to the suppliers in the marketplace to be more honest upfront of what their pricing is. So to summarise, very first thing you do, before you even start thinking about talking to suppliers, talking to vendors about what the price is going to be, get a feel for what you actually want. Get a profile of your business. How many people have you got that want to use the system? What modules you like to use? Do you want things like text messaging? Are you looking for a system that's got a CRM in it built into it? Or are you going to have a separate CRM? Do you need accounting? Or are you going to have a separate accounting system? Get that button down. Then you can go to your vendor and actually then go, this is what I want. Give me a rough cost. And if they say, oh, it's going to be £1,000 a month or more, and you only really want to be spending £500 or more, that may be not the vendor for you. That may not be the case. It may be that your idea of what you need to spend is kind of out of kilter with what you should be spending. It may well be that spending more money on a system give you a better return on investment than spending less money on perhaps a lesser system. This episode has given you some really good pointers of what you should be doing to get the price of your system correct when you're looking for a new DMS system, and how to talk to vendors to make sure you get what you need. Thanks for watching. And a big thank you to our sponsors, DMS Navigator, the dealer management system that helps you to improve efficiency, customer service, and your profitability. And Mild Companion, the app that keeps your customers connected to you, puts you in their pockets, and helps you to retain them for life.